Hi, my name is Noel Davis with World Composting, and today we're going to look at an ANC bin, or African Nightcrawler bin, that has hamster bedding in it. Now, this bin has been going for quite a while now, and it's been 18 days since our last update, and this bin has been doing phenomenal with these worms. Now, I do have some extra bedding we can add this time, as I've been running low on that, but we just had a cleaning about a week ago, so that's aged a week. It's ready to go in the system. But we're going to take a look and see how these worms are doing. They've been really flying through this material very fast, except for the aspen shavings. Those have been taking a little bit longer, and they're going to need more time to work through those, I think. Eventually, we'll have to kind of sort them out maybe, and then go from there. But for right now, they're doing a great job of going through this material, and it's time to add some more, I'm sure. So with that, let's take a look and see how the system is doing, check out the worms, and see how much bedding we can add into this system to keep it going. Alright, so here's our system right here, and as you can see it says 2/13, and today is the 3rd of March. So there we go, we've got that on here. We're going to take this little sticker off on the side over there. I don't think we need that anymore. There's a little mite over there. I'm going to just grab him with that while I'm there. I'm not seeing too many mites on the top of the system compared to what I've seen in the past. So we're going to go ahead and take this off and take a look in here. And this is just, hold on here, I'm trying to flip this over without putting it down inside. This is packed with little baby worms all over this thing. They are all over here. This is really good to see. They are really multiplying well in here. And there really are just little worms. I mean, you can, especially right over here, you can really see them. I don't know if that's able to focus or not that close. Right there, I think. Look at that. Look at all the worms there on the top of that. But they're all over this top here. So I'm going to be very careful putting this off to the side so I don't disturb them too much. And you can see already on the top there's some large worms. Oh, we got a fruit fly, it looks like, over here. So hopefully that's not going to be an issue, but you know, they do appear in these systems every once in a while. So with that, we're going to go ahead and dig in here. Let me just grab my glove. Again, I'm using a separate glove for this system. I'm using the left glove instead of my right glove because of the fact that I'm adding hamster bedding in here. Yes, it should be theoretically safe, especially with the worms going through it. There shouldn't be any pathogens, but I don't like taking a chance, which is why I do that. And you can see right here, they have gone through this entire bag right here pretty much, or most of it. So we're going to go ahead and throw that off to the side. You can see the worms look pretty healthy here all over the top. We got a couple smaller worms right over here, if I can grab them. So we have some smaller worms over here. Actually, we'll push this down just a little bit. So we got some smaller worms, but it looks like it's drying out on some of these edges. So we're going to need add some moisture in here probably. And we're definitely going to be needing to add some bedding. Now, actually, look at this. You can see these shavings really are not moving a whole lot. There's a worm jumping around like crazy in there. The shavings are not moving very fast at all. And it looks like they're slowing down on this. Oops. On the system. But look at this. You can see that there's tons of castings in here. It's really just these shavings that are left. And the last feeding I had a lot of shavings in it compared to the bedding material that was paper. And I think these shavings just don't do as well. Oops. So we've got a little bit of dryness in that area, so we're going to have to maybe try to continue adding to the center section here, which is going to probably have more moisture from the part being on top, the plastic. You can see this is flaking apart, but not quite as well as it should. Another little baby worm in there. Look at that. So we're doing a great job of multiplying in here. You can see this is definitely a lot thicker than I would like it. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to add water. We're going to need to mix this around a little bit more. But these worms are doing great at going through this material. I think they're running out of the paper, which is what they really like compared to the shavings, the aspen shavings. And I found that with the pine shavings as well. I have a pine shaving system, and they tend to go through those just really slow. You know, that's just not what they really want. As you can see right here, this is drying out on the sides. But it's doing pretty well. Look at this, more baby worms. Lots of baby worms in this system. That is a great sign. I'm really happy to see that. I should probably start pulling out some of these larger worms. Maybe in the next update I'll get another system going here. We can pull out these larger worms and throw them in another system. Because I have been finding a couple of dead ones on the floor. I think they are overcrowded in here, and I think they are searching for food. So, alright. So the system looks pretty good. It's a little bit dry in some areas, a little bit wetter in others. This does have the heat mat underneath it. So first off, what we're going to do here is we're going to throw this in the center and bury it underneath. This doesn't need to be on top anymore, I think. We'll move that off to one side. And now let me grab, and I'm using a new bedding in the hamster bin. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to grab a mask. And the reason why I'm grabbing a mask is there's a lot of dust. I'm going to be using a KN95 mask here. And actually, I need to take off my glove to put this on. A little hard to do it one-handed. But I switched bedding material due to the amount of dust coming off the hamster cage. You know, so we've tried to switch to a different bedding, which there's going to be quite a bit of in here. It's a bright white bedding, so it might have some issues with the camera. We're going to throw in quite a bit here. It's all dry. And you can see that this is the KT bedding. And so far it seems to be working a lot better as far as in the system itself, as far as my hamster cage. It doesn't smell nearly as much. I'm just going to spray this down and just kind of get it a little bit wet right now. We're going to put some more water in here, but I just want to get this wet to get the dust out of the air a little bit. But this bedding seems to be working a lot better as far as containing the dust. The other stuff said 99% dust free. I'd hate to see what Dusty is like with how bad it was. Now we're going to add some of our water with BTI mixed to it. This is hopefully going to make it where there's no fruit flies or anything like that in here. And we're going to add quite a bit. This stuff is absorbent. So we're going to need to add some water really and get this moving here. Oops. So, a little bit more maybe. There we go. So this stuff is very absorbent. It doesn't smell nearly as much as the other stuff that I was buying, which I think was Carefree. And it seems to be working really, really well. I'm really impressed with it. So with that, let's just kind of look down here. You got a little bit of runoff through here. I don't know if you guys can see it too well. I know it's hard because this stuff is so bright. But basically, it looks like this is going to be a good material to use in here. I'm hoping this is a different type of material. We also have some corn kernels in here. I was wondering what this was for a second. These little corn kernels that we had fed the hamster. There was some special corn we bought as a treat. He didn't quite finish it all before he cleared out the bedding. But we're going to go ahead and cover this up. Oh yeah, again, we have it in the center here. We're going to continue to feed in the center because these edges are not, they're drying out a little bit too much. So we're going to continue to feed in the center, keep the worms in the center here. But that's it for this. They're doing a great job on this material. I'm really impressed with how well they're doing with this. The only thing I didn't add actually to this, which I probably should have, was some grit. I can actually add some on top here. I will add just a little bit here. We'll just add a little bit of grit on top. I do like adding grit normally when I add food. And this really, it's a bedding material, but it's also food. And we'll add a little bit of moisture just to kind of hold that down a little bit. Just like that. There we go. Add a little bit of moisture to the sides here. There we go. Now, if I really was going to get ready to harvest this, I'd probably leave this plastic off. I'm going to go ahead and take my mask off now. I think the dust is settled. I'm going to put this topper back on here, this plastic. If I was going to harvest this, I would probably leave this off to let this dry out a little bit more. I'd probably try to harvest as many worms as I could beforehand by luring them to a specific place in the bin, try to scoop them out, and then I'd probably try to harvest it by taking this off, drying it out, and then scooping the material out to kind of dry it out a little bit. So we'll see how this goes, but right now this is doing a great job. They're churning through this material very quickly, almost faster than my hamster creates it really. And the fact I do like to let it sit out, this has been sitting for at least a week, maybe 2 weeks now. It's hard to say, but we don't change his stuff nearly as often as we should. But they're doing a great job of taking care of it, along with the Reds as well, which are doing a great job. So with that, that's it for the update for this week. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know, or comments, leave them down below. Thank you for watching.